Hello everybody, and welcome again to the GGRated.net live show. Today is Monday, March 7th, and this is episode 5. I'm your host, the Iceman, and with me again is Hydra. How you doing, bro?
Hello, back and ready for another live show.
Yes, always back and ready for more. Also joining us today is Sebastian from Sweden. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing very well, thank you. But again, Jonathan, not as good as you, because you were in Florida last week on spring break. How does it feel being back?
It's good to be back with some internet that doesn't suck, but the weather here is definitely much colder, and I'm not on the beach, and I'm not by the pool anymore, so that is a downer. But I noticed you haven't been putting up much content on YouTube lately. What's going on with that, Sebastian?
Well, first of all, I'm sorry that I have to agree about that, but the thing is, I haven't released any unique videos for over a week now, and that is because sometimes, friends and all 6 of you viewers, life just gets in the way of your number one passion. In order to be more concrete, I am going to attend a pretty awesome course next autumn, and right now, this week, I have to juggle both getting a new day job, because the one I have don't really pay for the broadband bills, as well as getting into said college. So it's going to be a bit of a down low on the YouTube side of polygonreview.com for a few weeks or so. But then I will be back, and then, this goes out to you, Hydra, I am going to do something I wanted to do for a very long time, namely commentary. And
sweet. You heard it here first, people.
Something tells me that we're gonna do. Something tells me we're gonna do some dual commentary. It will be awesome.
I am. This is going out on air. Proposing that very thing to you, Hydra. It would be awesome.
Yeah. Another thing I would like to comment and leave here on air is that I don't know if you guys remember on the previous show that Sebastian made a very brief mention to something going on in Sweden, Starcraft 2 related, and it's something big. And the same kind of conversation showed up on a thread on Team Liquid with other Swedish fans from Starcraft 2 and members of the community discussing exactly the same thing, but not stretching it too far. And by this, I mean that they didn't say anything. They just keep saying that it's something really big in Sweden, and that's it. So I guess we're going to have to wait. But I'm still here. I will be waiting until that big, huge news come out. And do you have any idea of when exactly will you be able to say something, like in a month, in a couple of months?
Yes, I do. I got notice today that something will happen in a month. The infrastructure, the housing, so to speak, will be...
Swedish team. Ooh.
Did I say too much now?
Well, a house, come on. A house, what is it? It's like a McDonald's, new McDonald's, or a Pizza Hut? I don't think so.
Maybe it's just a metaphor for the envelope for this epic thing that's going to be revealed, or maybe it is a house. But it is going to be in action in a month, and whether the official release will be in 30 days or 45, I don't know. But we're getting very close, and it's getting very epic.
Awesome.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, you have to keep us informed, and we'll have to hear some more insider information from you around the due date when that's supposed to be released.
It's coming out here first on GGRated.
Oh, yeah, always. So, you guys ready to jump into today's topics?
Yes.
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right. First topic at hand is the IEM World Championship results. Just took place recently. I actually did not get to see anything from that, so I'm very disappointed. So I'm going to rely on you guys to give a thorough recap, whereas I was by the pool, so yeah. Why don't you take it away, Hydra?
So, Sebastian, you want to start, or shall I?
No, you start, Hydra. Take the honor.
You want me to put the group stages up?
Yes, please.
You have the group stages there?
They are
on the stream? Okay, so had some huge matches. Was just awesome. Some very nice matchups. I'm a bit... I don't know how to say this, but I really enjoy when I actually have the chance to see, for example, players from the Korean server matching up against players from the European server or North American or CEA, it doesn't matter, any other server, because it's quite interesting to see how they clash and how far ahead they are. Well, basically all the other servers are comparing to the Korean, as we know. There's also commentaries. I'm pretty sure some of you guys already heard them if you check the VODs or the live stream from GOM TV. I'm sure that you already heard Tasteless saying repeatedly, several times, that the Korean ladder is so much harder than the North American one. So meaning that when I have a chance to see the Europeans and North American facing against the Koreans, and they actually do well, it's a sign that we do have quality on these servers, and they might have a chance of standing against the Koreans. And well, hence we having some of those players heading to Korea occasionally and trying their luck there. So based on that, and on the fact that we had a lot of those matchups where you see huge players from Korea, pro gamers facing against pro gamers from North America and Europe, we had some awesome matchups. One big surprise, and I'm going to throw a couple of spoilers, but based on the fact that IM is already long gone, you guys should have already at least checked the results, so I'm going to spoil it for you. But what happened was Moonglade was a huge surprise, especially compared to what he did on the GSL not long ago. As you guys know, on the GSL, he just got completely trampled. 2-0, a lot of bad mistakes. We already talked about that on the previous GG rated. But all of a sudden, in IEM in Hanover, Germany, it was huge. He did really, really well.
Yeah, see,
and
this is what he really plays like.
Yeah, and as you can see on those results from the group stages, as you can see, you got Moonglade there, second place on Group B, with 4 wins, 1 loss. And the only guy that was able to top him on that Group B was Moon, with 5-0. No one touched Moon. All the Koreans were awesome on this event, by the way. We're talking about some players that are on Code A currently, Squirtle, Ace. So they're not actually the top of the top, the ace of aces on Korea, but they were able to just dominate the event. And as you can see by the results here, there's all the results available. You can read them. There's a lot of 2-0s. Notice Ace, for example, 2-0 on White Ra, 2-0 on Nidra, 2-0 on Moro, 2-0 on Tarson, 2-0 on QXE. What can I say? The guy was just a beast. And then you have on Group B on the matches that you can see Moonglade. He did have some defeats. I did a cast of one of his matches against Squirtle, if I'm not mistaken. And it was quite a surprise for me because, well, Squirtle just had some big blunders there and actually ended up losing the matches because of those big mistakes, big errors that he committed during the matchups. But Moonglade took 2-0 over Squirtle. Pretty impressive. I mean, Squirtle is a quality Protoss player. And as you can see here, he won over Socket 2-1, Moonglade, 2-0 over Show, who is one of the finest Terrans playing in Europe, and then over Phoenix as well, 2-0. And, well, he lost against Moon as well. It was the defeat that he had there, and hence the 4-1 on the matches on Group B for Moonglade. But he went along, he did very well, played against the Koreans just fine, toe-to-toe, like on the same level, and I was impressed by him. The other guy that I was impressed, but on the opposite direction, in the most negative way possible, was Phoenix. As you guys can see, he took 10 losses, didn't win a single game, ended up 0-5 on the matches, and, well, he didn't show anything. I'm not sure if he was suffering from a lot of jet lag or if he was sick. Not sure exactly. The other guy that disappointed me quite a lot, and I was hoping for a lot more from him, though I know he's studying, and we already discussed this on previous GG raters, is QXE. Yeah. As you can see there on the matches as well.
05, that was disappointing.
2-10 on the games, like 2 wins and 10 defeats, and lost all the matches. Ended up last along with Phoenix, so a bit disappointing. What else can I say from here? Idra did fairly well, but then he had the big matchup, a big confrontation with one of the Koreans on the, I think it was on the quarterfinals. We also have the brackets for that as well. Well, he ended up not being able to go further ahead and actually take the win here. Sebastian, based on these results, what you're taking a look here, what you have to say?
Well, browsing the results in what I must say is a very nice high-res image, and I think everybody watching and who's been following GGRated for a while will see that we are improving the format of the show, and all that credit, of course, goes to Iceman.
Yeah.
But
Thank you.
seriously, it's nice to see, and this bracket is even aesthetically very nice to see. All in all, taking in the IEM, I must say that there were many upsets, both good and, in my fanboy point of view, bad. For example, Morrow being a fellow Swedish third, whom I've interviewed twice, I believe. Though he, for some reason, he never wanted to do audio interviews, so we made the awkward text ones, which is far less sexy. But still, I was cheering for him. He went 6-7 in total. Idra, of course. He was stomped, but he made a better result, as you mentioned. And QXC, of course, being someone close to my nerd heart, being utterly ravaged. No fun at all. So I'd say, I would have wagered that a European, if not a North American, would advance very far. And you can't call Moonglade that, because he is from Australia and he flew in from Korea, if I'm not mistaken. So the Koreans really show that they got what it takes. They are collectively a step above the most of us. Yet still, as you mentioned, Hydra, we do see that the global scene, the international talent pool, is indeed quite strong. In future IEMs and MLGs, we will see a far better spread. But as of right now, the Koreans dominate StarCraft 2, but not as much as Brood War, because then there were no competition from round eyes there whatsoever. Now we got more of a shot, but they're still ahead. And I was hoping that wouldn't be the case.
Yeah, and this, as you can see, there's a lot of 2-0s there, but there were some close matches, especially after you just weed out the ones that, well, on this event, they were the weakest ones and had the weakest results. But we had a lot of really close matches.
You want the tiebreakers up?
Yeah, it got so close, especially on Group B, that we ended up with 3 players getting tied. And they just kept repeating tied and again and again, and had to play several matches on that bracket, as you can see here on the tie breaks. And they played all these matches, a single match against each other, as you can see. 4 rounds of tie breaks to actually get all of that people properly placed on the group stage and know who would pass. And as you can see, there's plenty of close matches here. For example, you see right on the top, like Squirtle dominating and winning over Sock, but then Show taking him, and then Sock taking Show, which shows quite a balance between those 3 players. And then you see Show taking wins over Sokka and Squirtle losing to Sokka. So we see here European players facing against Squirtle, who is a reference. He's not Code S yet, but I think he might be material for Code S. But still, he was able to. The European players were able to hold their ground and actually take some wins out of Squirtle. And for me, it only makes me happy, and it's a sign that the Europeans and obviously the North Americans as well, though you don't have any here on the tie breaks, we're much closer, StarCraft 2-wise, we're much closer to the Koreans than we were before on Brood War, in my modest opinion. And the game is still just growing. I mean, the game is like, what, 6-7 months old? Something like that. So it is quite impressive.
Indeed, it is. And I know, Hydra, that you watched more of these games than me. And speaking of Squirtle, I mean, we saw him pull off some amazing tricks and really dominate the GS Team League. And then he got, I can't remember against who off the top of my head, but he got kicked down in the GSL March very recently. How did he perform here at IEM, do you think? Because I only think I watched one of his games. No,
he did good. He was solid. The only matchup that I recall him doing like big blunders, huge mistakes, was against Moonglade on the Group B. I shoutcasted those matches. I have VODs of it. He had some big mistakes there, stuff that you don't see being done by pro gamers at this level that often, but I guess it just wasn't focused enough, and things didn't went very well on that matchup against Moonglade. But the rest, he was solid. He did very well. He and Squirtle and Ace were representing their team Startail, and obviously Startail at a certain point decided that those two players should be the ones that should fly to Germany and represent them. And I think that they did a very good job. And as you can see now, if Iceman passes on to the final bracket, to the one where you can see the quarterfinals and
playoffs
and semifinals, you can see the results, how the Koreans fared against the Europeans and North Americans there. I think it was pretty impressive. Also a sign that Korea is still dominating. And as you can see here for the playoffs, quarterfinals, you had Moon and Ace getting a bye, which was unfortunate. I mean, it would be like 2 more matches for us to watch. But notice Hydra and Squirtle, how close it was. 3-2, I watched those matches. They weren't like epic. They were interesting matches, but that's it. Hydra, I think, is better than he showed here. Not sure if he had any problem, personal stuff, or even just feeling tired. But he is more solid and more consistent than what he showed against Squirtle. But still, Squirtle did his job and took Hydra 3-2. But let's be serious about this. As we know, Hydra is Code S material. Squirtle at the moment is Code A. So based only on theory, you would assume that Hydra would take the win on this one. Well, he didn't. He got eliminated here on the quarterfinals. And as you can see once more, Moonglade owning Moro 3-1. I watched those matches. Actually, really interesting ZVZ matches. None of those... No, I'm sorry. There was one match that was like 6 minutes with Banelings exploding all over the place. But the rest, long matches with a lot of trading back and forth. Bunch of roaches and hydralisks, and you can even make comparisons by yourself by seeing a player going roach and hydra and the other one single roach, and see how the armies match against each other. And well, the end result was in favor of Moonglade by 3-1, and he passed on to the semifinals. But then he got owned. Ace was just a beast on this event, just very solid. He just grabbed Moonglade and gave him a 3-0 for him to bring back home to Australia or Korea. I'm not sure exactly where Moonglade is currently. And Squirtle had another really close battle against Moon, which Moon took 3-2 on the semifinals. For us to have a final match, a final battle between Ace and Moon, once again really close. It was really awesome to witness those 5 matches, by the way. They're all really good. I would recommend anyone to watch them. As well, the Squirtle and Moon was really cool to watch. And, well, Ace just took the final win, and I think it was well-deserved. He was over on his game, he was on top of his game, and he was, I don't know, a couple of notches above everyone else on this IEM. Bronze match, as you can see as well, Squirtle took the win 3-2 over Moonglade. I watched those matches. They were interesting, not the most epic ever, but they were cool as well. So it was a really fine event. I really enjoyed it. I know that a lot of people had troubles with the streaming, the live streaming. Also, the quality of the VODs provided by IEM isn't the best. I've seen better done by amateurs like myself. Though the casting, let me be honest, I mean, you had as casters Day 9 and TLO and Rotterdam and other guys that are very experienced and know what they're talking about. So the casting was just top notch. It's just the video quality wasn't the best. One thing that I would like to say in favor of IEM is I like the organization, and I like the fact that the moment the series finished, the replays were available, the replay files. And that was the only way I would be able to put up the videos, the VODs on my channel that fast.
That's always a nice thing for other shoutcasters on YouTube.
Yeah. And, and as you might imagine, the VODs, they covered VODs specially. There's VODs from the semifinals and finals, and those are easily accessible. But from the earlier stages, like the group stages, there's not that many VODs available by IEM. And, well, the casters did the work for them, I guess, and there's plenty to watch. So I have to thank them. Very good on that perspective.
Agreed.
Excellent. You want to take... I have a shot here of the actual winnings, the prize pool, who got what. Pretty good spread of the money. Everybody who participated, at least here, well, 1st through 12th, they had money prize positions. Ace walked away with 13,000, which is quite a nice sum.
13,000 US dollars. Quite nice.
And
definitely.
Guys, keep in mind that first and third place is from Startail team, so a lot of money for that team.
Yeah, exactly. And not also to forget that the winner of the IEM World Championship, it was announced by GOM TV that they would be taking Idra's spot in the GSL March up and down matches, so that's another bonus there.
So Ace will be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And it was nice to see that Moonglade got some retribution for his GSL performance, because we all want to see him do well, and here he showed us that he can. It was a very close fight.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just saying he could have easily been third and had a good shot at being second.
Right.
So.
Yeah, he's a very solid player. I've seen quite a few of his VODs elsewhere, but I think that when he was in GSL and the Code A, he just choked in the booth. I mean, first time for him, you know.
Yeah, I think so.
He'll recover.
He just had like shell-shocked inside that soundproof booth and things weren't working for him.
Yeah, exactly.
But we already discussed this.
Right.
Sebastian, anything else? Shall we move on?
No, I think you, Hydra, really covered the IEM, and I can only concur. But we have another big topic, which is, of course, the mecca of StarCraft 2, namely the GSL Code S. And there's a lot of things have been going on, not all of them nice. But why don't you start us up there, Jonathan?
All right. I have on screen the brackets for the previous week for the Code S, and a lot of continuation from the previous upsets that we had, but some players who are still running solid right now, namely we have July Zerg, God of War, still trampling his opponents, as well as San Zenith, some pretty powerhouse moves against OGS The Wind. I would say those were the two key highlight games for me that I was really looking forward to seeing, and I made sure that I watched those. What about you guys?
Well, San Zenith, he proved to us last week, or, well, round of 32, I suppose, that he is truly a force to be reckoned with. And since he's an underdog, being that he's not really a pro gamer, though if you're in the GSL Code S, you are by default, well, he showed us that it's a kind of guy you want to cheer for. So watching his games, always important, and we didn't get disappointed, did we?
No. I would say we were definitely entertained. I enjoyed those matches. They were very close. I actually wanted the Wind to continue on, but it was very close at the end. Some nice mass transfuses with the Queens there at the end, but the Hero Queens couldn't do it for them.
You got the clip there. Show us the clip.
Yeah. Oh, I was actually going to show the clip once we got to the actual brackets with the results.
Yeah, cool. So from all of these brackets that you guys can see here, well, for me, I wanted to see July playing because he took IM MVP, and what I'm assuming is, okay, if he took IM MVP, and I know that the matches were not like the most orthodox ever, but still he took the opportunity and grabbed it and took 2-0 on IM MVP, and that's not for anyone to do. And now he faced Clyde, or like Artosa say, Clyde. Yeah, he faced the guy, and he owned the guy as well. He took the win. Well, not owned, it was fairly close, but still, he was solid enough to keep macro. He was a beast on his macro on those matchups and took the final victory. So he passes on, and now we're going to have probably one of the most epic matches ever. I would like to hype this match as much as possible because it reminds me of the Brood War times. Based on the fact that Czech Prime lost against Nada, and as you guys can see on that tree, on those branches, you're going to end up having July now facing against Nada.
Oh boy, this is going to be
insanity. God of War against the
this is going to be madness.
Yeah, we're talking about July Zerg, one of the few that has the golden mouse, facing against one of the most solid and constant players from the Brood War era. He was one of the, I think he has hold the record for the longest time on top 30, if I'm not mistaken. You guys can correct him if I'm wrong. So we're talking about two beasts from Brood War matching up here on the GSL. It can only be good. I can't see anything else happening here. It's going to be like the most awesome thing ever. Sebastian, sorry.
No, I was just going to do a nerd giggle and concur with you. Good does not cover the epicness of the
Yeah.
magnitude that is July Zerg versus Nada. It is like the Old Testament coming back riding on a Harley Davidson with double miniguns. It is just unreal. It is the kind
Yeah.
of epic clash that we want to see, and this is the truly nice thing with how Korean Brood War has transitioned into StarCraft 2 because we get that legacy. The fact that these players fought each other 10 years ago and now they're doing it again. It's just unfathomable. Sure, San Zenith versus OGS the win, that's cool. This is biblical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is just everybody's old heroes from the Brood War days showing up in the new scene, and it's, just like a little bit of reliving their old history in Brood War. So it's definitely going to hype things up for old fans of Brood War. And just one thing I want to mention about this season of the GSL before we move into actual bracket results. I just appreciate all the backstory that they've done. Have you guys been noticing that? How they have the short introductory clips before all the group stages about, the little smack talk, some trash talk here and there,
Makes perfect sense.
I think they did a really good job on the narrative this season, and I hope that they continue to keep using that medium to hype things up.
Yeah.
Truly.
So
let me just mention one thing. I'm sure most of you are not going to watch it because it's fairly long and takes a while, and it's actually no player playing. But GOM TV released the movie with some. It has voiceovers in English made by John translating. It's like an hour and a half where you see the players representing each team choosing their groups and who are they going to play and why do they want to play against that guy and they want to avoid the other one.
oh yeah,
So
that was really interesting.
Yeah, you end up noticing the rivalries, like players that actually don't want to face the other one, but then you have the opposite side, which is like someone saying, "Oh, I want to be on the group with that guy because he's really easy and I'm gonna own him." And then when you're actually back on the booth and ready to play that match, if you watch that hour and a half with all of that banter and talking and trash talking back and forth and picking the groups, you might be aware that you're going to have some big clashes there because maybe some of those players have something to prove. I mean, if Nada or someone else tells you that, he wants to be on your group because he's going to own you, I'm pretty sure you're going to be feeling pumped and pissed at the same time inside that booth to just try to own the guy. If you have that chance, you want it. You want to grab it.
Exactly.
So if you have the chance to watch that, go watch it because it is pretty cool. It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Let's get right into the brackets here. I'm going to put up the Code S results for the round of 16 for day one.
Yeah.
We have MC advancing 2-0 over ZenXBN. Liquid Jinro getting knocked out, unfortunately, to Hung and Prime, 2-1. Startail July, 2-1 over TSL Clyde. And OGS Nada, 2-0 over Czech Prime. Your thoughts, guys?
Go, Sebastian, go.
Yeah, let's hear what Sebastian has to say. I know he's going to hear some mourning, but...
yes, forlorn sounds erupting from my belly. Of course, OGSMC, Ruffle Stomping, Zenix Bjorn, I don't care. It's just adequate. I mean, what else could you expect? Moving on to the tragedy. Sure... earthquake in New Zealand, that's a tragedy. I mean, let's not go into Libya, that nasty stuff happening over there. But Liquid Jinro getting knocked out of the GSL by Hong and Prime, I mean, that is just upsetting on a completely different scale.
Yeah. But if you watch the games, if you watch the matches, Hong and Prime did well, he was playing well, and they were close. But it is unfortunate.
Yes, of course. I like Hongen, actually. He sort of stole my heart when he did a carrier rush on Delta Quadrant, and I always return to that, but it's those kind of little things that stick with you. But I don't think he is the kind of foe that ought to take Jinro down. That should be an MC or a July or someone of that magnitude, And... Yes, they were close matches. They were good matches. I suppose the better player won, the better player on that day at least. But to me, it was not the road to Valhalla, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. And notice that if Gino had to take the win on that matchup, he would be facing now against OGSMC, and that would be pretty
That would have
awesome.
been pretty epic.
Keep
That
in mind
would have
that
been adequate.
I'm pretty sure they
That would have been the
practiced
third
together.
season in a row, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, and they practice together, live on the same house. I mean, it would be pretty awesome to see them battling against each other.
Yeah, that's
Again.
unfortunate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Clyde,
What
the supposedly best player in the world, getting knocked out. I mean, how much longer can we keep calling him the best player in the world? Well, not us, but the casting archons, I guess.
One thing I can tell you, the best event in the whole world this month, it's not going to be the GSL, no. It's going to be the up and down matches. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be madness.
Yeah, there's a point there. I mean, half of all the legends ended up there. But, I mean, I've actually designed a T-shirt for the Handsome Nerd that makes fun of the TSL being a GS aerial killer, get it? Which they haven't approved yet, Nick and Dan. I hope they will. So I do hope we continue to call him that. But yeah, it's getting a bit old now, doesn't it? Him being the best player. Yeah. July is deservedly the better player.
Yeah. Sure. July did very well on those matches, by the way. I watched those matches. I'm a bit of a fanboy. I assume it. I confess it. But he did very well against Clyde. Had some huge macro play. Was just awesome to watch.
Yeah,
okay,
I think
next
we have,
group then.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Gonna go for the next one? Want to say anything?
Oh, my bad. Yeah, let's go for the round of 16, day 2. And we have the results up. San Zenith beating OGS the win 2-1. I was pretty disappointed there, but it was a great series nonetheless. SC4U beating Trickster 2-1. OGS and Snare getting rolled by Foxlin 2-0. And Any Pro Prime beating Xanax Kirix 2-0. Thoughts?
Yeah.
Hydra?
Me? Okay, well, first of all, let me mention that anyone that has access to the VODs from San Zenith and OGS the Wind, watch them, especially the second and the third match. The third match was huge, just really close, back and forth. There was several moments where you're thinking, okay, San Zenith is going to take this, then no, OGS the Wind is doing well, he's going to push the guy, he's going to get him against the wall and win this. It was so close. And, well, it was an epic match. I would recommend at least that third match, but the whole series, to be honest, was pretty awesome.
Some pretty hero queens at the end of that battle, transfusing, but didn't hold it together.
This is end of game 3, and you have two queens trying to of stalkers, and they had an Archon on the front, and they just kept transfusing each other and trying to hold the pressure while OGS the Wind was trying to bring some more units out, but basically at the end it wasn't enough. I guess that those two queens did the best they could. I mean, can't get much better than this. It's basically Chuck Norris and Van Damme both there on the side of each other, trying to transfuse each other, or Sylvester Stallone, or Arnold Schwarzenegger, call it whatever you want, your favorite. But they were just transfusing each other and holding the aggression there, trying to just grab hold of that precious moment, that couple of seconds that OGS the Wind needed to produce more units, but it wasn't enough. Just they didn't do enough, and probably with 3 or 4 queens, he might have been able to hold it at least 10 seconds more. Who knows? Yeah. But yeah, he just lost the game there. He didn't have enough. The real turning
point in that match was when he lost those Broodlords too easily. He didn't have them defended with Corruptors. If he had kept them alive, I think he would have taken that game. Because he had those Broodlords doing work, and then he just lost them too easily to the Void Rays. And the Void Rays were just, I mean, doing work against all the Roaches the entire game. Yeah. So he didn't have an answer, really. That was unfortunate. But the game, the entire series was great the whole way through.
Yeah, recommended. You guys should watch that. And then you had, well, someone that keeps disappointing me. I really wanted to see more of him on the GSL, and I keep not getting it. It's Trickster, Sagisu, SSKS, Tester. He has all of those names. This time he lost against SC4U. SC4U played well. Okay, I saw the games. He played good, but I don't know, Trickster. I'm so used to the guy, and he is quite a powerful Protoss player, but he keeps missing the big moments. And once again, he's out of the round of 8, not going to get there. And I'm just going to keep hoping that on the next season, he will be able to take his place on the top of this game. Probably at least would like to see him on the round of 4 on the semifinals would be awesome, but I didn't get it. Fox Lin and OGS Ensnare, let me be honest, I was hoping for Ensnare to take the win here. He didn't. He got rolled over by Fox Lin, so congrats to Lin. And on Any Pro Prime versus Kirix, I don't know. Kirix is at least a couple of notches under what he already did in the past. If you guys recall, the moment where Kirix took a bit of reputation for himself and made a name for himself was on those matches that he faced Marine King Prime, where Marine King Prime did those mad skills, micro Marines, splitting all of them with Kirix just trying to trample them with Banelings. But from then on, I mean, Kirix hasn't been as good as I expected, and kind of a disappointment. But yeah, Any Pro Prime did play well and showed us that Protoss is ruling at the moment. So whoever knows how to play Protoss, just taking the full benefits out of it, will be a potential winner of the GSL.
That is very possible. Kirix, I find difficulty to recall exactly at what point he impressed us the most, but I would have betted him rather than Any Pro Prime to advance. But yeah, I mean, I'll take your word for that, Hydra. Seeing Fox Lin advance, though, warms my sort of old Warcraft 3 heart, because for a while there I took a break from Brood War and spent a lot of time in Azeroth, but not in the WoW kind of sense, in the strategic sense in Warcraft 3. And seeing those old pros do well, just as Moon did at the IEM, that's just nice to see. Having a Warcraft 3 pro up there in round of 8, that's just good for world peace. Now I need to cough. Over to you.
One mention that I like to make here, it isn't related directly with the GSL, at least not yet, is that there is a Korean player, that still didn't show up on the GSL because he's almost finishing the military service. But I'm still betting, I can still bet all my money that when he gets his spot here, he's gonna own a lot of people and he's gonna surprise a lot of pro gamers that we think are good now. The name of the guy is OGS the STC. Is, I think, a couple of months away from finishing the military service. He plays occasionally, and he streams some of his matches occasionally. But I want to see him on the GSL. And I'm waiting for, like, what, half a year, something like that, to see him here. And he still haven't finished the military service. So when that guy is here, he's a Terran, by the way, he's going to own a lot of people. So get ready for it. Okay, next one.
Moving on.
Let's take a look at the Code A, round of 16. We have day 2 results here. We have TSL Rain 2-0 over Zenex Jejun. We have Slayers Alicia 2-0 over MVP Noble S. OGS Supernova 2-1 over TSL Live. And Slayers M losing 1-2 to TSL Killer.
Yeah. Well, I watched these matches. Rain, I think he did quite well. Alicia versus Noblesse wasn't much of a matchup, to be honest, and Noblesse wasn't on par with Alicia. Alicia was much solid, a lot more consistent on his games. Alive, which was Alive for you, now TSL Alive, faced against Supernova. Supernova did very well there. And that Slayers M, I still didn't get it exactly. Why does it only shows on his name Slayers M? Because the name is Slayers MMA. Not sure if it's related with mixed martial arts or not, but it is the name, Slayers MMA. And, well, TSL Killer Sung Ho took the win there. It was close. Was one of my favorite series on this group, and one of the few that actually were more enjoyable. You know, on Code A, sometimes you have some matches that are not as exciting as Code S, and this group didn't have that many huge matchups. But the Slayers MMA versus TSL Killer was fairly close and a good matchup.
I didn't watch any, so I would have to make something up in order to add something to it. I'm glad that the TSL Rain moved onwards because he's the only guy that I really have found any attachment for among these 8 ones, to be honest.
Yeah, let's go for the next one then.
All right. I'm going to put up today's results, or actually today. Round of 8 from the Code A, and yeah, this was going to be some interesting game here that everybody, I'm sure, was wanting to hear about. I am Losira rolling Huck 2-0. Well, not really rolling, second game rolling, but 2-0 over Huck. ST Virus losing out 0-2 to Linok Foyu. TSL Rain losing 0-2 to Slayer's Alicia. And OGS Supernova 2-0 against TSL Killer.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sebastian. I'm sorry.
Well, starting at the top and with the uttermost sorrow, we saw the Brotos go down to a player from Incredible Miracle, Losira, who I can't remember where, but I do remember him showing some promise at some point, taking out the little Brotos himself, whom I've. I like the little guy. I met him once. He's very cool, and he's actually shown some genuine skill. And he actually, as we could see in last GGRated, we had a clip of it there. He had the cockiness that we expect Americans in the GSL to show us, and I personally like that. And I do thought he had the skill to back it up. Sure, this was the GSL Code A round of 8, and that's no picnic. But getting 2-0'd, I did not see that coming, and I wear a black headband of mourning with a little Protoss star on it.
Well, I was actually pretty surprised with that. I was surprised with the results when that happened. I actually thought Huck was going to advance past the round of 8, so, I mean, his tactics in Game 2 surprised me a bit. I didn't think that he would go for such a cheesy play, cannon rushing on Crevasse, no doubt, and he had favorable position on that map. I don't see why he was doing that. It seems like a frustration tactic, something when you're tilting, you might use on the ladder. Okay, I'm just going to beat this guy real quick, get back into my flow, but yeah, I'm not really sure why he chose that tactic on that map. Yeah. Your thoughts?
I watched all the series here, and I was eager to watch Huck, so I even took my time and watched this at the office while I was working. Yes, I confess that. I sat down and watched it. Yeah, I just sat down and I wanted to watch this, so I just took a look at it and saw all the games. And let me be honest with you. Second match was very disappointed for me. I know that Huck had a plan there. The plan involved cannon rushing. In his mind, that thing made sense after he lost the first match. I think he just decided that he wanted to do for something quick, and I think he just rushed it way too much. And, things didn't work very well. And keep in mind that Losira played very well on those 2 matches. He knew what he was doing. He had the plan. And to prove that he had the plan and he was prepared to play against Huck, he even made a nice ceremony in the end just to answer back to Huck. So what I mean by this is I'm pretty sure he practiced on IM team with some Protoss, got some tips. I'm pretty sure that Nasty sat by his side and told him a couple of things for him to do. And he just got there, sat down and did the exact thing. You guys see there? Do you guys recognize that from Losira?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, same thing we saw from Huck earlier on, so...
Yeah, okay, that for me means that he brought everything studied from home, he knew exactly what he was doing, and he said, when I win this, I'm going to do this ceremony just like he did, and I'm going to shut him up. And also it's a sign that maybe they don't get along that well, but it's just the way things are. Or maybe Losira doesn't like that many foreigners roaming around the GSL. Might be a million different things. Still, Losira did very solid playing on this matchup. I would like to see Huck moving on. Yes, I would. But it wasn't the case, and I think that Huck needs to go back to OGS house and practice a bit more. Also, I think it's related with what happened on Game 1, because I'm going to try to make a very brief summary of Game 2. We basically did the cannon rush, decided to place 3 cannons on the expo from his opponent from Losira. And Lozira was so concentrated on what he was doing and knew exactly what to do. And he wanted Huck to burn his minerals out of those 3 cannons that he was placing there, that he waited till the exact last second to cancel his hatchery. And like that, Huck wasn't able to cancel the 3 cannons, and he just got 3 static defenses, 3 photon cannons on his opponent's natural expo with nothing to do with them. He just burned a lot of minerals there. And Lozira, if you guys see the VOD, you're going to see that he waits till the exact last second, instead of just thinking, oh god, this guy's cannon rushing me, I'm going to cancel this and do something else. No. You wait till the last second and allowed Huck to burn all the minerals on those 3 cannons, and then he went away to do something else. Also, during that match, he went to attempt to place another hatch on the front of his base, if I'm not mistaken, on the Expo in front of his base, and he canceled in the middle of the process and decided to go for a roach pressure and advanced with a lot of roaches to destroy the main entrance of Huck. So it was a very well-thought process there, a well-thought plan, and I'm pretty sure he practiced that a lot during this week to get there and sit down against Huck and know what to do exactly. And, well, the end result is that Huck wasn't prepared enough and has to head back to OGS house and practice some more.
Yeah.
Well said.
That was disappointment for sure.
A couple of mentions to that second match that you see there on the brackets, ST Virus versus Linok for you. Linok, my modest opinion, does not belong on Code A. Okay? The guy is, let's say, a little bit above the rest of this group. ST Virus, in my opinion, didn't stand a chance the whole time. Linok sat down, did his thing, and, let me confess this, when I look at Linok, I see a junior version of Julizerg, physically and as a player. Let's put it like that, okay?
Yeah, I would agree.
I would say that's fair.
Yeah, but I mean, the guy is strong, huge macro, knows what he's doing, and I mean, he's 16 years old. Can you imagine this guy if he keeps playing like 40 years from now when he's 20? He's going to be the biggest monster ever playing Zerg in Korea.
He likes hamburgers, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He's very young, if I recall correctly, right?
16 years old.
Yeah,
he is really young. And the fact is, he's able to sit down on that soundproof booth. I don't know, maybe practice or something. He's able to just focus on what he's doing. He doesn't get distracted, and he actually gets some really awesome wins. And on some situations, as this one against ST Virus, was just too obvious that ST Virus was getting outclassed. Okay, just Linok was several steps ahead of Virus, and Virus wasn't able to stand a chance there. Simple as that. The other 2 matches, they were interesting. Once again, TSL killer Sung-Ho, who was an old Broodwar pro gamer, got eliminated by OGS Supernova. I was actually expecting Killer to take the win there, but he didn't. And once again, that new guy that I didn't use, Slayer's Alicia, took 2-0 over TSL Rain, and once again we have TSL Rain eliminated, this time from Code A. The guy, it feels like he will never get up to Code S again. I remember him having some really nice matches on the early stages of the GSL, Season 2 or Season 3, if I'm not mistaken. And, since then he's just coming down. Reminds me a bit of Maka Prime as well. He's getting on the same path. But yeah, it was just what we get on this Code A. And that's it for this group.
Well, I'd just like to point out, as I've been saying on the stream chat, that as we saw Rhett returning from Korea to Europe now after his second stand there, maybe he will become a part of that awesome thing I'm constantly teasing about. Maybe not. I honestly do not know. But I would not be surprised at all if we see Huck returning as well, since he could do that with a level of dignity, actually. And because there are actually ripe opportunities now for playing professionally in America. And we already have Tyler, also known as Noni, for Liquid being there. And that would leave Hapro and Jinro talking Swedish to each other over at the OGS house. I'm not surprised to see if Jinro is the only one that ends up staying for a long time. I think the time has come for these foreigners to cut their losses and collect their experience and earnings and get back to the home country where pro gamers are becoming stars.
So you don't think Huck is going to stay one more?
No, this is just a hunch, and I welcome it if he does decide to stay. But I think he will have plenty of reasons, financial and otherwise, to go back home. I hope he stays, but I'd say he won't.
Be that as may, I actually think that Huck has a good chance of staying one more season. He seems like a very competitive guy. Someone who's not going to give up, especially after we saw some of that smack talk directed back at him.
Oh no, you didn't.
Yeah, exactly. I have a feeling that we might see him give it another shot. I really hope that he would do that. And he's invested a lot of time here. I know he's been working in the OGS house as well, so he's a great practice environment. And I think he's a solid player who has been developing well over the time that he's been in Korea. And I think he definitely deserves another shot. He can definitely show, as we've seen, he showed how he can put up a great fight in Korea. And I think that he's going to stay and have another shot at it. At least that's what I'm hoping. But he doesn't seem like one that's going to give up easily and just leave for money right now. I mean, of course, money's definitely one of the big issues here, but he seems more of one of the competitive types who's not going to let this, bother him.
Possible. Let me just make a mention.
That's the case.
I'm just gonna make a couple of comments that are based on nothing. There's nothing for me to base them on it at the moment. It's just a hunch, a prediction out of the top of my head. But I can picture something like all the Team Liquid getting back home and Jinro joining OGS.
It's possible.
That's possible. I actually have not thought about that. That would be pretty crazy, but...
Okay. Now another thing. This is another issue, another piece of news that we're probably going to make a couple of comments. There's a very recent interview that the Iceman just showed me, 30 minutes before we started the stream?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, speaking of Liquid people departing, we have Liquid Ret, who actually just announced in an interview on Team Liquid that he will be going back to his home country. And, I mean, he won at, what was it, DreamHack? Assembly, I'm sorry. It was Assembly that he just won, and we hope that he was going to carry that motivation into Code A and do well there. But unfortunately, that was not the case, and as we had previously stated, it was a make or break sort of event for him.
Yeah.
And
I would like just to mention that based on that, you have Idra heading back. Huck, not sure. Maybe he'll stay one more, but maybe he'll just head back home. And there's always NASL and all the big events that occur in North America and Europe to play in. TSL, all the big events are going to start popping now. Hey Pro, we still haven't seen much of him. I would say that he's going to be one of the guys that will return as well. And all of a sudden, Ret also announcing that he's heading back. All of a sudden, who's left there? Jinro is the only guy left. Mm-hmm. And is he good enough to stay on the GSL? Yes,
definitely.
I think so. So why not the OGS guys make, I don't know, some sort of deal with Team Liquid? Because I'm certain that there will be some kind of compensation, or at least both teams will have to profit something out of it. But OGS just keeping Jinro and adding him to their roster, might be an idea. Like I said, I don't have any confirmation about this. It's just a rumor I'm throwing out, and it's just from the top of my mind. I'm just trying to place myself on Jinro's shoes and thinking, do I want to get back to Europe? I'm actually good here. Why don't I stay here?
But no, he wants to stay.
Yeah, but I know that things are more complicated than that, and I'm not holding all the information. I'm not having all the facts, all the potential information that I might be needing to actually make a proper reasoning out of this comment that I just did. Like I said, it's just from the top of my head. Just makes sense currently. And, well, I can picture the whole Team Liquid heading back home except Chinro, and he's going to stay there. And there's plenty for the whole Team Liquid team to play now. I mean, NASL, TSL3. Then it will, all the events that we had on 2010, they will repeat once again. So there's a load of stuff for them to play in, a lot of money to get out of all of those events. So I think it's a win-win situation for both sides, for the Koreans and for the foreigners that will be heading back.
That's very interesting. I hadn't thought of that before, but I think for Jinro's career, I think that might actually be a better move. Seems like the rest of the Team Liquid is, going to respective areas, hitting up all the events worldwide, and especially with the NASL tournament coming up, like you had mentioned, Hydra. Jinro doesn't seem like he's going to be going anywhere out of Korea, especially with his past success over the past 3 seasons. And seeing him, I know he's been playing in the booth a few times with the OGS jacket on, and just seeing him with that OGS jacket on looks kind of nice, I guess. Yeah, looks good.
Yeah.
Could see him as an OGS player. And, I mean, think about it. He has one of the best practice environments, one of the best teams to play with in Korea right now. It's only going to further his career and make him a stronger player. So that is definitely something that's possible. And wouldn't mind seeing that happen in the future.
Yeah.
Now it's all part of the scene being more and more globalized in a good way, that language barriers and national barriers means less than skill. So that moves us on quite nicely to what is the most global and most epic online-based tournament in the world. And this is just going to blow everybody's mind, because people that are newcomers to the StarCraft 2 community who weren't here in Brood War, they don't know what's going to hit them in the shape of the TSL 3, Team Liquid Star League number 3. That's just of a magnitude that no one has seen before if they were not in Brood War.
Yeah, I would like to ask the Iceman to put up the brackets for the TSL, because finally,
before you ask, it shall be done.
And I would like to ask Sebastian to comment on it, because this is basically something that Sebastian tries to plug on every live show that we have. Makes perfect sense, because it's going to be a huge event, and it's something that might be quite new for the fans from StarCraft 2 that just get along the game, got into the train now, and didn't follow the TSL before, back on the Brood War days. So I would like Sebastian to just take the lead and show us a bit, explain us a bit about what's going on, and talk a bit about those brackets that everyone can see there on the screen.
Well, thank you, Hydra, for saying so. And indeed, I do plug this as often as I possibly can. I do not get a single dime or poker gratuity for doing so. I say it because it is simply the truth that when TeamLiquid.net, not talking about the fighting team right now, but the organization, the organism that is the site, gets down to business, they mean business. And they brought us 2 Star Leagues in the Brood War era that were phenomenal. They were the best non-Korean entities ever spawned. And now the TSL3 is just expanding that beyond. We will. This is a truly international lineup with tons of Korean players joining with foreigners side by side, and now we will truly see who is the best. Because yes, there are lag issues, but then again, there are no jet lag issues. There's no getting choked in the booth issues. You can play in your cellar, getting toast from your mom, whatever makes you feel good as a pro gamer. The normal routine. There's just skill and a bit of lag. But besides from that, this is going to be an equal field, as equal as it gets. Getting into the brackets, starting from top, we have the ruling champion. Yes, Liquid Tyler, known as Noni back in the Brood War days, he won the last TSL. And I think he made himself like $5,000, or was it 10? It was much. So he's the ruling Brood War champion. He thereby, he's been seeded to this stage, but he's no pushover. He deserves that spot. He is facing Mouse Strelok, Ukrainian Terran, who's an old Brood War champion as well. He's the winner of the tiebreaker. And that's going to be an epic fight, but Tyler will take it easily. That's just it. And then we have Thorstein, which I believe is a Dota player from Sweden. I might be wrong on the Dota part, but I believe so. Terran, of course.
I think he is, yeah, I think so.
Yes, and he's a bit of a newcomer to the field. I remember reading a Team Liquid interview with him a few weeks back. He's now facing Fruit Dealer. That's just rude, man. That's just unfair. And I mean, I don't know much about Thorstein. I couldn't be bothered to watch the qualifying games. Now he's getting pitted against a former GSL champion. Sure, it's an uneven champion in Fruit Dealer. I mean, he's not solid. You can't say that. He's everything but he is fearsome. He should tear Thorstein apart. That's difficult to say in a very remarkable fashion. But I don't know. That should happen, but we'll see. I'll watch it for the patriotic values.
Mass Thors to deal with those fruit bombs.
Let's hope, man. It should be anything but clean cut and very rugged. And then we have OGS MC, another GSL champion, fighting against Danish Zerg player Kiara, whom I believe is either Warcraft 3 or Dota, but these things are unclear to me. That's just on a different level. I mean, Thorstein, Fruit Dealer, sure, might go either way. MC, Kiara, that's just like...
It's a massacre waiting to happen.
Yeah, it's the goat you sacrifice under the moon to get more prosperity. That's Kiara. And MC would be the moon and the sickle doing the cutting. That's just a ruffle stomp in the making. Moving on to White Raw against Loner Prime. Now that is of course Chinese Terran player Loner who's been in every GSL, not doing too good, but definitely being very good.
But he is there.
Consistent.
He is there.
Yes, he is consistently quite good, but not that good. Which is kind of the same as White Raw, who's of course not been fighting on the Korean scene. I mean, I'm sure there are some show matches. Maybe you've even broadcasted some Hydra against him, him fighting Koreans. But we don't know how he will do against that kind of opposition, and I have no idea. Loner has the better training advantage, you would have to say. But you can't count out the Grandpa Toss.
Yeah, Grandpa Toss now is doing a married life, so not easy. But still, I think he might be a fairly close matchup, and it's going to be nice to watch him facing against one of the top Chinese references playing this game. I think it's going to be cool.
It's going to be
Indeed. Iceman, why don't you pick us off with MVP and Adel Scott? I've been talking for quite some time, and Adel Scott is always fun talking about.
All right, I'll give you a break. Starting off here in the bottom left section of the brackets, we have former champion. Now he's moving down to the up and down brackets, and I'm talking about none other than I Am MVP. He will be facing against the Frenchman, Adel Scott. So we have MVP who won decisively with quite insane star sense, I would say, in the previous season. And then we have an upset this season, so, I mean, MVP, obviously, I would say he has the more skill and more practice in this case, but you never know with what happened this season.
Some random event might happen, but I would give all favoritism to I Am MVP. I mean, no disrespect for Adel Scott, but I'm pretty sure that even Adel Scott knows that he has a huge mountain to climb for him to actually take the win out of MVP's hands, unless MVP is asleep or playing with his feet just for fun, something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
If he is in normal conditions and sitting and taking this seriously, Adel Scott will have a huge mountain to climb. I would give something like 90% for MVP, 10% for Adel Scott.
All right, we'll remember those predictions when that comes around. But
yeah.
But definitely would agree with that assessment. Second part of this bracket, we have Root QXC from America facing another Korean player, MVP Genius. This is going to be interesting. We know that Root is quite a fearsome gamer. We've seen quite a bit of great action from him. He's quite focused on his studies right now, but hopefully he'll give us some very good battles in the TSL 3.
Yeah, Genius. Genius have been. If you guys been following the GSL, Genius has been into some trouble. He isn't playing on the same level he did before, or maybe the playing field around him is evolving faster than he is, and he's just not showing the same level of playing and the same consistency he had before. And QXC, he already stated that on interviews. He's studying, and he even said that the second he finished university and has everything arranged, he wants to go and fly to the GOM TV, the foreigner house, and try his luck on the GSL. But he's still not on that point, and as far as I know, currently he is studying and focused more on his studies than on his playing.
He's focused on his studies right now.
And that showed now on the IEM. I mean, on the IEM, he got completely destroyed, owned completely. 05. And might be a sign that he needs to sit down and practice more. So I would favor Genius on that matchup. Moving on.
Definitely.
Next we have OGS Nada versus everybody's favorite German. And I'm talking about none other than TLO, the Liquid one. And this is going to definitely be one of my highlights for the TSL 3, seeing as how we have the only random player here, the little one, of course, I'm talking about, facing OGS Nada. This is going to be huge.
This is nothing less than, again, biblical. It is probably the most entertaining matchup in the TSL whatsoever, because there will be many epic games, many great showcasings of skill, but nothing is as, filled with magic in the air. It's like... the Harry Potter factor is big with this one. OGS Nada facing against Liquid TLO, who's the most prolific and star quality kind of player out there. He's definitely very good, one of the very top in Europe these days. But that's not why we want him to see Nada. It's because he is the little one. He's the one who makes the impossible happen. He makes the quirky stuff, and he manages to win with it. Now he's having the balls, the utter balls, to play as random. And Nada, I mean, he's likely to take it. He is the favorite purely skill-wise, but TLAF Liquid TLO, he's unpredictable, and he will bring the show. He will make it a memorable series.
Sebastian.
It's just best. Yes.
Sebastian, you know why TLO plays random?
Why?
It's because he's a boss, and he will continue to be a boss.
Of course.
Let me just mention one thing. I'm going to add a little bit of data that might be interesting for both of you and for all the listeners. Hopefully Nada is still not watching the GGRated, so he's not going to pick up this information. But I was actually watching TLO playing on his stream this afternoon, and he was training. He typed on the chat, "I'm practicing to face Nada." And he was doing mass Thors. Mass Thors, like 5 of them and then 5 more, and keep streaming Thors into the guy, and he actually won.
I actually saw that. I saw that too.
Now, the funny thing is, he was playing mass Thors and winning against Lalush. Lalush is a player that is very well known by his BM, his manners, and well, actually Lalush, when he saw that he was getting trampled by Thors, he left the game without no GG, no nothing. But yeah, TLO is practicing, he's preparing himself to face Nada, and who knows, he might end up having Terran facing Nada and just going with mass Thors, and by then you guys just say, "Oh yeah, I listened about this, yeah, the other guy talked about this." Go ahead, next one.
Next we have Empire Kaz versus Liquid Hey Pro, and I'm actually not sure how I feel about this matchup. Hey Pro, I think we still yet to see his full potential, probably, I would say. Korea,
no one knows what he's about.
Yeah, his move to Korea didn't really showcase what he's all about yet, but I think that's definitely going to be a good stepping stone and preparing him for his experience here in the TSL 3. What do you think?
You're gonna ask Sebastian. He's gonna come on. Hey, Pro is Swedish. What are you expecting him to say? Huh? Come on.
The Swedes, man, do it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, I want to believe in Hey Pro, but faith alone won't get you that far. I'm not that religious, and if so, Hey Pro wouldn't be my deity. Sadly, he has just not really showed us what he's all about. Not saying he's bad, saying that I cannot possibly predict if he'll take down Empire Cass. I hope he will. But these are not the DreamHack days of old. This is a chance for Hey Pro to prove himself, but he's definitely an uncertain card.
Yeah. Hydra, you want to take us through the next group real quick?
Yeah, let me just take a look. Okay, taking a look here at the next one, we have their Sen against Phoenix. You seen what happened on the IEM? Phoenix he wasn't there. He did
05, another 05 bust.
05, 0-10, he didn't win a single match.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't there. I'm not sure if he had any personal situation or just feeling tired, jet lag, all that stuff. But, well, it didn't work. And I actually like Sen a lot. Sen is one of the legends from the Brood War times. One of the few guys outside of Korea that the whole community respected. Everyone knew Sen. And he's actually a pretty solid Zerg player on Starcraft 2 as well. So I'm hoping for Sen to take the win on that one. You guys want to comment anything about this matchup?
Other than Sen is experienced player, I believe he was in the past TSL, previous TSL.
Yes, he was.
So this is nothing new for him. So
Phoenix is also a Brood War veteran. I mean, he knows the game, but I don't know. He doesn't seem to be on par with his opponent, with Sen currently.
I would definitely say Sen is going to be trampling him in this one.
Yeah, maybe things change. Next matchup, Sebastian, you have something to say about Sen, or shall I move on?
Move on, because we have a very nice name in the next one.
I'm sure you're mentioning Night End. Yeah, Night End facing against Slayer's Boxer. And yeah, he's going to be here, the Terran Emperor. And well, I don't expect anything else besides Boxer taking Night End, but time passes by and Boxer is not the same as he was before. I really still love watching him play, and I'm kind of saying a heresy, a blasphemy, by even giving a little bit of a chance for Night End to actually take the win on this one. But
he showed strength in the qualifier. Listen, so I mean, you never know what's going to happen here. But
yeah, and Night End is a guy that plays a lot on the online tournaments. He's let me call it a frequent flyer of the online tournament scene. He is an experienced player. I mean, just not on the level of Slayer's Boxer. It would be a huge shock for me if Slayer's Boxer would lose, but I think I will give advantage to Boxer, obviously, but I think that Night End might stand a chance there. Simple as that.
Next group, or next bracket?
No, next bracket, obviously will have to be for Sebastian, because he's going to have to make a decision here.
Well, the decision is, of course, a nice one. There are two Swedes, two very good and acknowledged Swedes facing each other. One is in Korea and is nice and makes nice interviews and very well mannered. The other one doesn't want to do audio interviews with me and is slightly weird, and I'm uncertain of his hairstyle. Hence, GGRated will be the victor. And if I would choose to be diplomatic and actually sincere, GGRated would also be the victor, because Moro, who he advanced far in the IEM, was he not round of fourth or sixth place, something like that? Maybe not.
So. Let me take a look again.
Yeah, he's very good, no matter what, and he did very well in the first IEM at Cologne. Yes, Roger. Where did he play?
He went to the quarterfinals. Went to the quarterfinals and lost against Moonglade 3-1 on a ZVZ.
Yeah, not too shabby, but GGRated is just miles ahead. It will be interesting. It will be the battle of the Swedes, but the best Swede will prevail, thankfully.
Okay, let me just move on then. Next, you have Hasselhobbs against Huck.
Huck shipper.
Yeah, I think Huck is a more solid player, but it is a PvP, and you guys know how volatile that thing is, right? So you'll never know.
People keep saying it.
Yeah, 4-gate against 4-gate, proxy this, proxy that, warping units, and all of a sudden you're just on a huge micro battle, and someone just twitches his hand a little bit, and oh, he just missed microed, and it's over. Also, there is going to be another issue. I'm actually hoping for Huck to not be in Korea by then, because on PvP battles, with all that micro-intensive playing, the lag will be a factor. Okay, the lag will be the lag will be an issue. The player that lags the most will have more troubles with his microing, and you'll never know. So I am rooting for Huck on this matchup, yes. Though I like Asu Hobbs, he's a nice player, but I'm hoping for Huck to win this one. What you guys have to say?
It's a tough call. The lag, the mirror match. Huck is the better player statistically, but statistics, mystics, it don't mean shit in Starcraft 2.
That's true.
Yeah, I guess.
I hope Huck wins it. Just gonna say it. Bro toss.
Yeah. Okay, so just gonna add a comment for the next one. It's I am Nasty against Goody. I'm gonna make a small mention. I'm a mod on a stream that it's streamed usually on the weekends, but some days or during the week as well, straight from Korea. A guy called Chef makes a stream, restreams the streams from Korean pro gamers, and I was today talking with him on the stream because I was just being a mod there and taking a look at Clyde. He was streaming Clyde, and when I mentioned that Nasty was facing Goody, his comment. And keep in mind that this is the perspective of someone that lives and plays and breeds and does his life in Korea, and he's used to the Korean scene. He told me this: what's going to happen is the moment that the game starts, Goody is going to type, "You're going to give me 50 minutes, okay? Then you attack." And what he means by this is that for him, Goody is the guy that macros and macros and macros and turtles and turtles and turtles, and the game is always 1 hour long. This is his perspective. Will this be happening against Nasty? Because if Goody doesn't do anything about it and just leaves Nasty sitting there macroing his game, he's going to get trampled. It's my modest opinion. I really like Goody. He's a solid player, but I'm just hoping he doesn't expect 1 hour games, because I don't think Nasty will fall for that. What you guys think?
No, that won't work against Nasty. You have to all in or do something crazy to get ahead enough early. And if he don't have the balls to do that, it's just going to be sad. Sad day for Germany.
Yeah. I'm at least hoping Goody to at least make a lot of harass, like a lot of drops, medevac drops, a lot of Hellion harass, just roasting some drones and some Zerglings, put a lot of pressure onto Nasty, and don't let him sit down and relax making his game, or else when Goody actually finds about how far ahead Nasty is already, the game is going to be lost. And, well, I understand what Chef was trying to tell me. He was exaggerating it, obviously, but what he means is that Goody has a tendency to stretch the games because he turtles and just starts massing up his units, and against Nasty he might have a bitter surprise there and might not like it.
Constant pressure. He's going to have to do that instead of his typical style of play.
Maybe. Okay, next one. Bad Boy Naniwa against Liquid Ret. I'm all for Ret, to be honest. Though I don't have any issue with Naniwa. I was calling him Bad Boy because he had some manner issues in the past. From what I recall reading on some interviews, he had some issues, personal life issues. He left home, and things weren't very stable for him, nor at school, nor in his family. And I'm pretty sure that's related with his attitude in the game. So I'm not saying that he's a bad guy in any way, but I am rooting for Liquid Ret. He's the epitome, the reference playing Zerg. He is the mind hive. The hive mind is exactly the kind of Zerg that I like to watch, and he represents everything I like to see on a Zerg player. So I'm hoping for him to win this one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know too much about Naniva other than that he has a bit of an attitude, and nothing wrong with that, but you should be able to back it up. And I guess I'm more of a fan of the Genro type of player if it comes down to it. So I want to see Liquid Ret, who's one of my favorite Zergs, Ruffle Stomp my Swedish brother, because that's just fitting.
Yeah.
Moving on to something that is equally BM, though even more unbalanced. We
Yeah.
have Idra recently returned to the States, of course, by then, against some guy.
Yeah.
That should
I'm
be an
gonna.
easy picking, shouldn't it? Or, I don't know
I'm
anything about
gonna.
Cruncher.
I'm just gonna add a couple of comments because I actually listened to GJ Wheat and Chill. They were the couple of guys that were making the presentation of all these matchups, and DJ Wheat knows Cruncher, the guys from Warcraft 3, and he basically, I'm gonna try to transcript what he said. Obviously, it's gonna miss something, and I'm probably gonna get torched and burned by it. But what Wheat was saying is he knows the guy. The guy goes for a lot of lands and events in the US, and he played Warcraft 3. And now he's getting, at least a couple of months ago, he was getting really pissed because basically there was no scene anymore on Warcraft 3. Everyone was leaving, and Cruncher was just moaning about it. Just, oh, there's no one to play, and everyone is leaving this to play Starcraft 2, bunch of noobs. And apparently there was someone that told Cruncher just, hey man, stop being a pussy. You're a good player. Move on to StarCraft 2 and start playing that shit. Simple as this. Okay? So, by
Pardon his
saying
French.
this, yeah, Cruncher decided to move on to StarCraft 2. He's been doing fairly well on the ladder and on the tournament scene, though he's not a very well recognized player. But from what Wheat was saying about the guy, he is a very dedicated player. Like, he takes what he plays, Warcraft 3, StarCraft 2, Minesweeper, Free Cell, doesn't matter. Whatever he plays, he takes it really serious. So, yes, obviously I'm gonna favor Idra on this matchup, but I want to see how far Cruncher is already ahead on his match, on his game. How much did he train StarCraft 2? How solid he is, because he is a guy that I haven't followed that much.
We'll
And
see.
now, yeah, and now final matchup.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Mondragon versus Zerax. You guys know
Mondi.
Mondragon?
Yep.
Anyone wants to talk about the guy? Go for it.
Iceman?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Mondragon. We saw him in the previous TSL, and let's just say his style is interesting, and he is a formidable opponent that I just don't see Zerax getting anywhere with Mondragon. I mean, we haven't seen too much play from Mondragon anywhere. He's been kind of quiet, but I know Mondragon is somewhere in his basement practicing, going nuts, and he's going to emerge, and people are going to go, what the hell is going on? Where did they come from? And it's going to be crazy, but I don't see Zerax beating Mondragon, even though Zerax is a strong player nonetheless.
Yeah. Not a chance in hell. Mondragon will bring Dark Swarm to StarCraft 2 somehow just by breaking the game through old school awesomeness. I don't think he'll go all the way to the finals, but he'll definitely show his worth.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really think this is going to be very one-sided in my opinion, and Mondragon is just going to unleash the beast inside of him.
Okay, so let's just wrap this up. We've already been stretching the program today, the live show.
Yeah.
We keep doing this every time. We just want to keep talking and keep stretching
Can't help it,
Let's
man.
just
Too much
wrap it
epicness.
up. Wrap it up
you,
with the final subject.
Yeah, last news. Last bit of news we have is StarCraft 2 to replace Brood War at the WCG World Cyber Games Grand Final. Why don't you take us home here, Hydra?
Yeah, but it's basically simple. It's a sign of the times, I would say. As you guys know, there was a lot of struggle with Kespa and removing Blizzard games from some events, and they actually were able to remove it from the Stars event that happens in Korea, if I'm not mistaken. But now all of a sudden you have World Cyber Games saying Brood War is out, StarCraft 2 is in. And let me be honest with you, I think that World Cyber Games is a much bigger reference for all of us outside of Korea than from the Koreans. But it's still a blow. It means that outside of Korea, people are actually moving onwards and taking care and paying attention to what's new and what's doing well on the scene. And World Cyber Games just decided that StarCraft 2 is solid enough, is good enough to replace one of the biggest references on online games ever. which is Brood War. And keep in mind that Brood War is on the World Cyber Games for a long, long time, several years now. So actually having this move, it's a sign of the times, like I was saying. And maybe it will hint other pro players, other pro gamers, maybe some top Koreans that maybe they should consider having a go at StarCraft 2. And what you guys think?
Jaedong.
yeah, and Flash and Bisu,
Flash, Bisu, yeah.
Yeah. But who knows? I mean,
Calling
there
all
will
Brood
be
War pros.
Yeah, I'm assuming that there will be reactions in the future weeks to this news. But we'll see where this is heading, because as you might know, when people actually are sitting on the grand finals of the World Cyber Games, playing Warcraft 3 and Starcraft 2 and all the other games, the Brood War veterans, the Brood War pros, will be sitting on the side, watching on TV or doing something else. And on all the previous years, they were always going there. I mean, some of the biggest names in pro gaming Brood War from Korea always went there to take the medal for Korea. And now all of a sudden, they're off. No more medal. I'm pretty sure there will be some reactions in the future.
Sebastian, any thoughts?
Oh, it's the sign of the times indeed. It shows that people have been convinced that the big capital is now in StarCraft 2 and that it's futile to keep on fighting as this. And of course, there can't be two games of the same franchise being played alongside each other. And obviously, StarCraft 2 will have to take its place. Blizzard made a good enough product. There's been plenty of pro gamers who's shown that it's up to par skill-wise and as an entertainment sport. It's just very good news to round off this broadcast with, because this is what we want. We want to be entertained by watching, if not participating in pro gaming, and this is the the largest, perhaps not the best, but definitely the largest symbol we have, the World Cyber Games, and it's now following suit. A bit late, but finally, and it's just great to see.
Definitely.
Okay.
Well, that's all we have for this week. I want to thank everybody who tuned in. Thank you to our consistent few viewers, but I think this show gets around more on podcast format. But any shout-outs you guys have? Hydra, Sebastian, anything you guys want to say?
For me, it's all good. I'm just looking forward for next week. I'm pretty sure more stuff will come up now, and I always love to be here and just chat with you guys. It's awesome. And well, what sign that is awesome is just the time that we usually take to talk about all of this. It's like the program is supposed to be half an hour and ends up being an hour and a half. So,
Yeah,
okay, all
bad.
good. Just love it.
Can't help it, man. It's too much epicness.
Yeah, I can only agree. Talking with you guys is great. It's very great indeed. I have someone here who's been patiently waiting for me to round this off, but I have been bad and allowed her to wait. So I'm very thankful for that, as well as I must say that talking to you guys is just a weekly treat, and I look forward to doing so the next time. And for any people out there who want more stuff from my channel, do stay tuned, because when I do return, it will be with much more and brand new epicness.
Definitely. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check out Hydra's channel on YouTube. That's XHydraX. Check out Sebastian's channel for awesome interviews and insider information. His channel is Polygon Review. And don't forget to keep checking us out, GGRated.net. Trying to get the site up finally. It's going to be up soon enough. Send us emails with questions or comments to liveshow@ggrated.net. And look for our live stream to be showing up on the TL.net calendar, hopefully the next event. So hopefully we'll be getting some more publicity for that. And thanks everyone for tuning in. And I have one shout out to my friend in Sweden, Hans. Thanks for showing up on today's show. See you guys next week. GG.
GG.